tell you twice. I'm real discreet, a thief in the night. Yeah. If I call you, I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. I know it's fire. Tell you twice. I'm real discreet, a thief in the night. Thief in the night. If I call you, I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. I know it's fire. Tell you twice. I'm real discreet, a thief in the night.
Sookie now. What's the big old deal, man? It's y'all favorite hood partner, Big Nina Boy. We back at it with another one. Hey, man, what can I say? But happy Friday to all the motherfuckers getting some money out here, man. Let's get it. Let's go. So we got Brick Baby, new update, man. We got to go back down the rabbit hole, man. We got to go back to where Brick Baby started from because now it has caught my attention that it's more of a bet at this point. Everybody has their opinions about Brick Baby and what he's standing on. But let's be real, homie. As a part of this content space, man, a lot of people on the back channels, man, they like, yeah, bro, like, I got to realize Brick Baby he's not an original 60. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't really born into the 6-0 organization. So, you know, and not to take nothing from somebody who ain't actually born in it, but most of the times, those be the people that don't, it's nothing for them to say, man, nigga ain't did nothing but put feet and hands on me. You know what I'm saying? Talk down about me and embarrass me, expose me. So we had to go back down, man. So what we gonna do today, we gonna go back down Brick Baby's timeline, right? Because y'all remember Brick Baby was from, you know, he ran with the West Boulevards, he ran with the Rolling 30s, then he got put on the Rolling 60s, then he went out to Atlanta and he quote unquote say that he started the Atlanta 6-0s, and it's a real Atlanta 6-0s that'll knock the teeth out of his mouth for even lying like that. But we got content to get down on, man. So let's run down on it. And yeah, y'all be the judge and jury. Let's get it. Let's go.
IP. So they changed it from completely irresistible players to Crips in Progress because we was getting into so much shit in the area. So that was really my introduction.
So now as a middle schooler, Zaire is roaming the West LA streets as an unofficial gang member. But then his friend's uncle would find out about this, and things would not be good for them. Well, not in the way you'd think.
Hitting your goals has nothing to do with discipline.
The real culprit is friction, and it slowly erodes your progress. Unlike what
Instead of being upset that they're in the streets like any responsible adult should, he was just upset that they didn't join his gang.
Uncle Mike, he found out we all was from this clique, and he came over there tripping one day. Like he was bullying, like this is a big buff grown man. He came over there tripping on this one day, like I ain't having it. Like I either go turn West Boulevard today or this shit over.
So now Zaire is pressured with the ultimatum of joining the West Boulevard Crips. This was like a dream come true, except because he was told to do it, he now did not want to do it. Like, if I'm going to join somewhere, I'm going to do it because I want to, not because somebody else is telling me to do it.
I ain't finna be from West Boulevard because he tried to make me. You know, I was rebellious back then, so I started hanging with the Harlem 30s.
So now after rejecting the West Boulevards, he starts hanging out with the notorious Harlem 30s. He runs with them for a short time, but then his cousins come around and are like, you're either going to join over there or join us with the 60s.
Like my mom always had a house nearby Slauson, and all my cousins lived on Slauson, so I ended up getting put on 60s like my 14th summer, but I always was affiliated.
So Zaire officially gets put onto the 60s during his 8th grade summer.
I got jumped by all old man. I squatted with one, he was like 19, and I squatted with like a 30-year-old and a
damn.
Yeah, I got knocked out.
So now he's officially a Rolling 60s member right before starting out at his private high school. He's known as Zaire.
So now I'm confused, man, because I still recall when he said he got put on 6-0. The person who he got put on 6-0 with, he now from East Coast. You know what I'm saying? The same nigga who put him on rolling 60s back then turned East Coast. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, man, and that's one of my partners, man. Somebody out in, you know what I'm saying, been in the streets with for some years, right? But you know what I'm saying? He ain't no old nigga. He's what? He gotta probably be about maybe 2 years older than you. Actually, I'm probably like 3 years older than him, but maybe the nigga put him on 2 years older than him. But see, y'all gotta understand something, homie. Everybody is saying that nigga, man, that nigga a real 6'0". He a real 60. Let me tell you something, bro. You don't have to be. What is a real 6'0"? You understand me? Shit, because let me tell you something, homie. One thing I learned about this game, though, bro, is niggas knew that the game was Mickey before they jumped into it. You see what I'm saying? Niggas knew. Everybody know it ain't no love in gang culture, bro. So if you're looking for love in the streets, you're not gonna find it. And you know, the streets can't heal no broken heart. You know what I'm saying? So if you have mommy issues, daddy issues, you're not gonna find it in the streets. You gotta understand something, because when you hit that blacktop, homie, the streets go be your teacher, bro. And they're not teaching you how to read and write. Shit, they ain't even teaching you how to pull a trigger. You know what I'm saying? It's monkey see, monkey do, and hope you get away with it. Whoop-de-doo. That's just the bottom line of this shit, right? But I'm sitting back and I'm watching it, because we was at we was chilling at a bar. The conversation popped up, and a dude said he was a retired such and such, right? And he said the only way that the federal government gives you deals unless they getting something in return. They're not dropping cases unless they're going to use you for a big situation. Yeah, they'll let you go there. They'll drop your time there, get you out. But when they call you, you gotta report to them. You see what I'm saying? So make sure we clear, because we got a lot of content we finna run through. But y'all gotta understand, homie, if them people, if they letting you go, knowing that they got you dead bang, they don't care about you and your family, bro. It's no way they just say, hey, he's a good person, we're gonna let him out of here. Nah, you a repeated offender. And if you have priors, bro, you can hang that shit up. So I want to go back down the timeline so we can get to the real content. And then I want y'all to be the judge and the jury. Let's get it. Let's go.
Near Mitchell at school, and on the block he's known as Wild Bill from the Overhills. But somehow amidst his gangbanging, he's able to maintain an above 3.0 average at school and to become the backup point guard. Now, you might hear backup point guard and think that he was trash, but no. You gotta know where he went to school. They were stacked. We'll get into all of that in a second, but the point is that while he's doing all this positive stuff, he's also living the life as a full-time gangbanger. When he wasn't at his Christian academy, he was knee-deep in very dangerous situations in the set. Specifically, his main expertise was robbing and extorting rappers who come to LA. And that's
so 3.0 GPA, very exceptional in high school, and gangbanging on the side. Let me tell you something. He's not a dummy. He is not a dummy. If anybody would know how to make a good deal and pull that shit off, it would be him. Because a lot of these dudes is gang goofy out here, bro. They barely can read and write, but they can pull a switch and pull a trigger like nothing else. You see what I'm saying? But Brick Baby is smart. He's like, I got to get out of here. I'm not finna do no motherfucking 15 years for nigga. Think about it. He wasn't even in the rolling 60s for that amount of time. You see what I'm saying? He was in Atlanta. He spent most of his time in Atlanta. He got put on rolling 60s, got shot and got up out of here. And then after he caught them gun cases, he got a gun case and some drug cases in Atlanta, right? And then he comes back to California, right? So when you look at the time they trying to give, you're like, shit, nigga, I wasn't even banging that long out over there in the rolling 60s like that. Nigga, I mean, I was from 60s, but I wasn't active all that time. So, yeah, that nigga trying to get up out of there. You better believe, bro, when we get to the end of this content, y'all go see where I'm coming from. Just look at his timeline. Let's go.
Takes us to 2004, June 29th, 2004. It's the weekend of the annual BET Awards in LA, and the Rolling 60s have nothing but extortion on their minds. In particular, on this day, Zaire and his boys have somebody they want to target. Yep, that's right, Jeezy the Snowman, and they desperately want that chain. Why him? Well, simply because he has the shiniest chain they've ever seen.
We've never seen nothing like this. You got to think, LA, like the real Gotti diamond jury, diamond in each link, like This has never been done in LA yet. The rapper's jury is very feasible. Like, if you get you some rapper jury and go to the jeweler, you up a couple $100,000.
Unfortunately for them, they're unable to get a hand on Jeezy at the award show, so now they follow him to the club.
It was so many of us, we pushed the security out the way and rushed the club.
So now Zaire and his boys run in the club and absolutely take it over. In fact, Zaire jumps behind the bar, grabs 2 bottles, and then stands up and clashes them together. Simultaneously, his boys go over to the DJ booth and grab the mic.
Tell the whole club to roll the 60s in here, like, oh, like it's one of them nights.
After doing this, they wiggle over to the section that Jeezy's in, looking to snatch his chain.
We trying to ease our way to Jeezy. We see the snowman. We trying to go do our thing.
But as Jeezy's crew notice what's about to happen, they whip out their Blakes.
They got like a chopper. This is my first time ever seeing like a mini carbon or.
All right. First of all, I want y'all to just watch how he's just volunteering information. Nobody asked him. He's telling about a potential robbery nobody asked him about. Y'all got to understand something. So when y'all ask, oh, man, no, that nigga solid as a rock, be mindful of the people who just vocally just talk about crimes and times of committing crimes of the past. Like, come, bro, anybody that would get on here and just voluntarily tell, oh, yeah, nigga, we about to rob Jeezy. Oh, nigga, we gonna rob Goodfoot. Nigga, come on, nigga. If you would just volunteer that, what make me think that you go keep it silent in the interrogation room, bro? How? Come on, he the only one that took his deal first. It's so much of this shit. Y'all, I want y'all to put y'all thinking caps on, because I know everybody be trying to think just from a gangster perspective, but you got to think from as a mental and physical perspective. Look at the play here. The man is voluntarily telling war stories that was not even asked about him. Come on, yeah, nigga, little chatty patty. Yeah, nigga, that nigga, hell yeah. Nigga, pass that nigga the money. You gonna tell it all, baby. Let's get it, let's go.
Something like they got a chopper out, like, and we look back, and I just go to shake Jeezy and ooh, yeah, like, what up, man?
Thankfully, the situation was stopped before it even started. But I say all that to show that at just 16 years old, this is what Zaire was about. And because of his willingness to do anything for the 60s, he was increasing his rank. This is how he earned the name in the set of Shitty or Shitro and the ability to put on new members. Well, in the late summer of 2004, he would bring his first young member to be put on the set. This would be a young friend of his by the name of Eric Holder. Eric was only 14 years old, but already thirsty and ready to put in work in the set. So of course, Zaire brings him to the set, puts him on, and he earns the nickname of Lil Shitty. Big Shitty and Lil Shitty, a duo that would forever make history in the set. So being a big homie at just 16 years old meant that Zaire had a rider by his side. At first, this meant protecting the trap, which happened to be Zaire's mom's house. This is where you could find a whole lot of money, jewelry, and illicit items inside. So because of Zaire, his mom's house became the hangout spot for the Overhill 60s.
My house was the spot. She had money and shit in the house and a lot of jewelry. So she let all the gangbangers kick it at the house because she had control of us. I had control of my homies, but we was like the security blanket.
Now remember, as he's committing felony robberies and hanging out on the block, he's still enrolled in private school and playing on the basketball team. So now it's the fall of 2004, and Zaire's team has a major season ahead. The team is absolutely stacked as they have a 6'10 D1 center, a 6'7 D1 wing, and the point guard is Devin Williams, who you may know as In the Lab. Well, long story short, they're so good that they have an undefeated season in their league, and they make it to the state championship game in Sacramento.
What you're about to learn cannot be unlearned. Music producers and struggling artists.
Of course, they win the state championship, beating a Bay Area team like LA always does. So on paper, everything in Zaire's life is looking good. A good GPA, winning a state championship, and also getting noticed on the AAU circuit. In fact, he was playing so well that he skipped his senior year of high school to go play at a basketball prep school in Mississippi. Now you'd think that with this great
all right, so his senior year, He's in a prep school in Mississippi. So y'all gotta understand, bro. Like, if you a real gangbanger, especially in your teens, bro, it ain't no nigga. I can only come out and bang from 3 to 6. That was all in or all out, bro. You was not just you know what I'm saying, baby dicking out there on that blacktop, bro. It was not happening, homie. So I want y'all just look at his timeline. Just watch it. So at this point, he's in Mississippi at a prep school. Let's go.
Great opportunity, Zaire would go into it with a positive mentality. Now that I'm out of state, I'm going to leave the gang stuff behind me and simply focus on basketball. But sadly, for whatever reason, he simply cannot let the street life go. So right after his senior year at the prep school, he catches his first case. As he's riding around Mississippi in a car with no registration, the troopers get behind him. And because he has an illegal weapon in the car, he decides to take him on a chase. So he bends a few blocks, giving him enough time to roll down the window and throw out the clip and then throw out the weapon. So then after getting rid of it, he rolls his window up and then pulls over so they can talk to him. Unfortunately for him, the officers did see him throw it, so they go around and they end up finding it. At this point, everything he's worked hard for is at...
Hold on, y'all. So look, let's go back because we're talking about priors here. This is his first gun charge. Watch, he got more gun charges. So when it gets to the end of the content, y'all gonna see how you get caught with multiple more guns, ammunition, and they just throwing that shit out because of what? Let's go.
Jeopardy. He could quickly become a felon. However, because of a technicality in Mississippi law, he gets off with a misdemeanor.
Threw the gun, so they found the gun with no clip. That's a misdemeanor. Because it wasn't like...
Well, while this is going on and he's sitting in a jail cell, he does receive some very good news.
And while I'm there, I get an acceptance letter from Clark Atlanta University.
So now he has the amazing opportunity to play on Clark Atlanta's basketball team and to go to school for free. Well, after presenting this to the court, the judge thankfully allows him to get out of jail just 2 days before orientation.
What day do you start orientation? He let me out 2 days before orientation, so I couldn't do no gang banging or nothing.
This was a close call, but thankfully they let him off easy and he's able to now focus on... Well, is he? Oh, hell nah. You'd think that catching that case would scare him straight, like everything I've worked hard for almost was out of my hands. Like now I'm gonna focus on basketball and school and definitely stay out of trouble. But nope, Zaire's entrance to Atlanta would be quite the opposite. As soon as he touches down in the city, he links up with his Rolling 60s cousins who now run with BMF. So while his classmates are sleeping in the dorms and kicking it on campus, he's with Big Meech at the club and sleeping in his mansion as well.
So I'm the youngest little dude, you know what I'm saying? Young in the club, 17, 18. I was with Meech and them though.
And as soon as he was introduced to their lifestyle, he fell in love with it and was willing to do anything to impress Big Meech, including trapping and moving weight while being a full-time college student. So just like that, an 18-year-old Zaire is risking his freedom once again. And unfortunately, during his second semester, it would all catch up to him. While heading down the interstate with 75 pounds in his car, a Georgia State trooper gets behind him. He throws some of the bags out of the window, but unfortunately they catch up to him before he can get rid of it all. And just like that, Zaire is arrested and is facing a serious Class A felony. While enrolled as a college student, he's now facing up to 8 years in prison. At this moment, everything he's ever worked for is now way out of the window. They caught him red-handed with serious weight, and he's going to be sitting in prison for quite some time. Well, long story short, he pleads guilty to the felony, and now his future is at the hands of a judge. Somehow he gets another lenient judge who sentences him to
4 months in jail, 10 years probation.
Wow.
Receiving only 4 months for 75 pounds is very strange, especially in the South. On top of this,
say it again, Judge. 4 months for 75 pounds. This is no longer a juvenile. No longer a juvenile. This is a grown ass man. You understand what I'm saying? Look. Let me tell you something, homie. You know what? I tell people all the time, man, like, they let you out, bro. Yeah, they'll let you out. They'll keep you letting you out too. And when it comes time to that big one, come on, bro. How many grown at 18? Some of us went to jail and got way more time for doing something way less than that. Man, come on. 75 pounds, 4 months. Remember, he caught a gun charge, right? He caught the gun charge. They found the gun, and they just released him from jail so he can go to college. Then, a little bit time now, we only had to 75 pounds and did 4 months. That's crazy. All right, so we got 75 pounds. He got caught with a pistol. Let's go. He was already 18. Y'all know that, right? Because he was going to college. So when he caught that gun charge, he was 18 years old. Let's go.
During this exact time, BMF was taken down and all of them got 15 to 20 years.
With 4 new big arrests, Atlanta police believe they have just about shut down the so-called Black Mafia family. And as our Julia Harding reports, these suspects were hiding out in one of the city's most popular areas.
Anyone tied to BMF typically has an extensive criminal history, so we consider them to be very violent.
Federal agents seized this limo with secret compartments that had almost $1 million hidden inside. An organization that at one time claimed to rule Atlanta. Now agents say that's no longer the case.
So now with all of BMF arrested, Zaire just threw his life away for nothing. You started trapping to impress them, and now you'll probably never see them again. So now that he doesn't have a school to go to or a crew to hang out with, he only has a choice but to return back to Los Angeles. So right after his release from Fulton County Jail, he makes his glorious return to the wicked, overhill Los Angeles streets. It's now the fall of 2006, and Zaire is back to ground one, hanging out with his 60s homies in the hood. He's now just another failed high school athlete who's back in the hood doing absolutely nothing. We all know some of those, don't we? But not only is he doing nothing productive, he's also in the process of risking his life every single day. Why, you might be wondering? Well, because while he was in Atlanta, his little homie Eric Holder was causing havoc in the streets. So upon Zaire's return to LA, he was putting his life in immediate risk.
Barrett Rick Studio again with another
It's an early October afternoon, and Zaire and Eric are rolling through the set headed to their local corner store. Zaire has his shirt off and a blick sitting in his lap as they get to the store. So when Eric parks the car, Zaire hops out and puts his blick under his seat. He then reaches for the back door so he can grab his hoodie and put it on. But that's when he's met with a barrage of gunfire. Shots are flying from all the way across the street, but somehow Zaire is hitting his shoulder. It then ricochets and hits him in his neck, which completely shatters his back. So now he's laying on the floor and can't move anything under his waist. Thankfully, that's when Eric runs around to him, picks him up, and ties him down in the front seat. He then runs around to his side of the car, hops in, and speeds away to the hospital.
They ended up taking me. My boy was panicking, driving 100 miles per hour. I'm like, man, slow down, because I didn't have no feelings, so my neck I'm like, bro.
Thankfully, he ends up surviving after making it to the hospital, but that's when the doctors give him devastating news.
Like, I was in the bed, like when I first got shot, and he was rubbing the bottom of my feet. So what happened, my nerves were shattered. I had fractured my neck. I'm telling them, like, I could feel you rubbing my foot. He's like, no, you can't. You're paralyzed. You'll be, he's like a Middle Eastern dude. You'll be paralyzed forever. You'll never walk again. I'm like, bro, I just felt you rub my feet. He's like, you want to feel me rubbing your feet? I'm like, what the f?
So for 6 months, he lays in a hospital bed thinking that he'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. A whole lot of time to lay there and think about all of his wasted potential. So now he's pissed off at his rivals and he tells Eric to go put in work. So from what we know, Eric Holder immediately hit the streets and started knocking down rivals. So not only did he save his life, but he also allegedly eliminated those who did this to his friend. Eric's loyalty to Zaire was unparalleled. He was basically forever indebted to his life. Well, after months of being angry in a hospital bed, a miracle comes out of nowhere.
We sitting inside the hospital, we watching TV, and I just move my legs up like, and she like, what the f*** are you doing? I'm like, I was like, oh shit, I was trying to get comfortable. And my legs just moved. She like, what the fuck? Like, oh, she ran and got the nurse. Went to rehab, physical therapy after that for like 4 months.
Somehow, after 6 months, he's able to fully recover and get back on his feet. And after his full recovery, he would smartly get out of the LA streets and head back to Atlanta. Now, you may be thinking that this was his wake-up call to get...
Now, I hope y'all see what I'm saying, right? So, look, he came back. He wasn't even in L.A. not too long before he got shot. He ended up being in the hospital for 6 months, then therapy for 4 months. Now he walking. Now he's back to Atlanta. You understand what I'm saying? So I want y'all to really keep this in mind. So when you think about loyalty, where is his loyalty going to rely at? Let's go.
Get out of the streets, but this wasn't the case at all. Instead, he heads back to Atlanta with a serious mission in mind, and he brings Eric with him. Basically, he wants to become the king of the streets, the powerful leader of the Georgia Rolling 60s. At this time, and really still to this day, the streets in the South had absolutely zero structure. Nobody listened or followed orders from anyone, and it was pretty much every man for himself. No certified OGs, DPs, put-ons, none of that. So essentially what Zaire was trying to do was bring the Los Angeles way to Georgia, where he could have people under him and serving anything he wanted. So in order to do this, he hit the streets hard and recruited new members, guys who were under him and who would do anything he said. And in the process, believe it or not, they took over some serious hoods, and this is how Zaire truly made his name in Atlanta. From the notorious Four Seasons apartments, the West End, and a Southside hood known as Shady Park. While in the process of expanding the set, Zaire unfortunately brought some havoc to the streets. In typical LA fashion, he began robbing and extorting rappers, a trend that Atlanta had never seen before.
No, that's somebody I robbed that was Gucci best friend.
This is how he becomes known for robbing in Atlanta, somebody that you'd rather have on your side than against you. So he's basically extorting people for friendships, but on the flip side, he's also pretty intelligent. After befriending a local Rolling 60 by the name of Pee Wee Longway, he ends up running his bag up like never before. If you're unfamiliar, Pee Wee was a very well-known hustler in the streets of Atlanta, known for running up millions. And because of this, he had connections to the up-and-coming and major rappers in Atlanta.
I met everybody through Pee Wee Longway. That's my brother. That's like my brother-in-law.
As they were constantly in studios and surrounded by rappers, they decided to join together and to start a music label. This would be known as Money, Piles, and Ammo, also known as MPA.
Okay, so you guys start rolling together and you guys start MPA together.
We around it so much. Let's pay for some studio time, shoot a couple videos. Let's just see where this goes.
Unfortunately, they had no idea how to properly run a business, but aside from that, Zaire had a special ear for talent. In fact, he discovered Young Thug in 2008 and actually started managing his career early on. Without having him signed to any sort of paperwork, Zaire had him in the studio and was also introducing him to some bigger names. In fact, in 2009, he even brought him to LA to try to get him in the studio with Nipsey Hussle.
I started showing him the game with what's going on the West Coast too.
Right.
You know, I took him in front of Nip in like 2009 and told him to work with him. And Nip was like iffy. Thug was slime, man. He was real. He was real, like, you know what I'm saying? He was out here robbing, doing all, you know, regular hood. So
the point is that he was helping out Atlanta artists and he had a really good ear for talent. So not only does he have a potentially major label at his hands, but he's also doing pretty well financially. In fact, in 2009, he copped a nice condo in Sandy Springs, a fly whip, and you know, he was just doing his thing. Once again, things are truly looking good for him, but sadly, this is when he's met with some terrible luck. October 22nd, 2009. It's a Thursday night in North Atlanta and Zaire is headed down Interstate 19 headed towards downtown. As he's cruising down, a Georgia State Patrol gets behind him and runs his tags. Unfortunately, he never registered the car, so the officer hits the cherries.
Ah shit, here we go again.
Zaire knows that he's riding dirty as a convicted felon, so he smashes on the pedal. Now he's on a high-speed chase cutting in and out of traffic in Buckhead, and then skirt, he smashes into a pole. Just like that, the officers are able to pull him out of the car and they find weapons inside. This time, it's no joke, as he's facing 4 separate felonies. So already being a convicted felon, he's looking at up to 12 years in prison. But somehow, once again, Zaire is able to completely avoid prison and only get a few months in jail. What? A convicted felon and documented Rolling 60s Crip only gets a few months in jail for 4 separate felonies. That makes no sense in my mind. Well, once again, he gets off easy and he's right back on the streets in early 2010. But not for long. On July 28, 2010, he would have another high-speed chase while on probation, and yet again he's caught with a weapon and facing 10 years in prison. But mysteriously, the judge lets him off easy and he only does 18 months. Now before you call him a snitch or an informant, do understand that this is Fulton County, which is a complete joke. Well, regardless, it's now 2012 and the MPA boss returns to the streets. While he was away, Pee Wee Longway was able to discover young rappers Lil Durk, Rich Homie Quan, and a group called the Migos.
Rich Homie Quan before he came out. I'm hearing 21 Savage before he came out.
So as soon as Zaire got out of prison, he was connected with them and actually started helping their careers. Not only did he pay for their studio time and connect them with rappers, but he also provided them with protection. Durk being an outsider from Chicago and the Migos being suburban wannabes, they both could use some protection. But most importantly, the biggest thing he provided was protection whenever the rappers went to LA. In fact, he even brought Future to LA for the very first time.
You know what I'm saying? I've been that person, like bringing them out here. Like I had Future, I turned LA on the Future. I was listening to Dirty Sprite 1. You know, I brought them out here to do a song with Nip.
Essentially, he was every rapper's connection whenever they'd go to LA. He was the first and only call. Remember this, because it will be very important. Well, as we know, everyone around him and Pee Wee was getting rich and famous during this period. And after a while, they got kind of tired of being the guys in the background, and they wanted to try rapping for themselves. So Zaire would become MPA Shitro or MPA Brick Baby, and Pee Wee was still Pee Wee Longway. Early on, things were looking bright for the duo, as they had the help of Durk, Future, Young Thug, Gucci Mane, and more. Basically, because of everything they had done for them, if they ever needed a feature, it was done right away. But then, unfortunately, as things are going up for Brick Baby, he catches another felon in possession charge in Los Angeles. And this time he's sentenced to 3 years in prison. As he's sitting in a lonely prison cell, everyone around him is getting rich and famous. Young Thug signs with Birdman and blows up, Future blows up, Lil Durk blows up, Rich Homie Quan blows up, Pee Wee Longway blows up, well, kind of, but you get the point. Oh, and don't forget that the Migos get a feature with Drake and they're out of here as well. So literally everyone who was with him in Atlanta completely blow up and get nationally famous. All while Zaire Brick Baby is sitting in a California prison with no fame or nothing. Damn, that would shatter any man's ego. Don't act like it wouldn't. But on the flip side, because they're all rich and famous now, he assumes that once he gets out, they'll definitely put him on. So 3 long years go by and Brick Baby is finally released. It's 2015 and Brick Baby is finally home expecting a warm welcome. But as soon as he touches down, a harsh reality kicks in. These guys are not your real friends. Aside from Thug, Pee Wee, and Durk, his friends were not there to help him out and pretty much wanted nothing to do with him.
You know, you told me earlier that you've been cut off. People cut you off or something of that sort.
My industry friends that I thought was my friends now. Free YSL, Gunna, Slime. Y'all did, you know what I'm saying? You already know. We ain't even got to talk long way.
Are we speaking
Dirt.
like
After everything he did for some of his friends in the industry, he really took it hard.
was broke, we could go through DMs, or when you was up and coming, we could do that. I just feel like they wanted to be around me when they was broke because they didn't have nothing. So now you a millionaire now, you don't want that type of pressure around. But you think I'm gonna turn that energy on you? You my boy, I love you. I wouldn't give a fuck if you had $1 or $1 billion. I'm gonna treat you the same way.
Brick Baby was now a peon or an...
Man, come on, man. Like, it's a lot of people. It's surprising that I don't know Brick, but the circles, the time changed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people I done ran with it knew, he knew and ran with too. And what it was this nigga was robbing his own partners, bro, especially with the weed, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, if you try to get some pounds from this nigga will rob you for your own shit. You know what I'm saying? He'll play you. He didn't rob so many niggas in Atlanta. Now I understand why them niggas like, yeah, you cool, bro. Like, yeah, nigga, nigga on the street level. Nigga, yeah, you was around me while I was pursuing my dreams, but you was robbing your own people. You was niggas stealing from everybody, then running back to LA, then come back 4 months later act like nothing happened. Like, this nigga fucked over everybody in Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy. When I sit back and I think about this shit, when a nigga rob his own people, you can't say you love something, homie. How could you rob something that you love? You know what I'm saying? How could you hurt the people that you love around you, nigga? Like when you love something, homie, you ain't finna hurt your partners, homie. You not finna scam on your own people, bro. Because one day you gonna need them people. One day you gonna fall short. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna need somebody that's gonna keep you sharp when you down. And when people tie their hands on you when you go through your worst moment, that just means you was a messed up person towards them people. Let's go.
Afterthought to many people he helped out, and this truly hurt his ego. Now, instead of being the guy who helps out rappers and protects them, he reverts to being the guy who wants to rob them. Don't come to LA. Unless your name is Dirk, Thug, or Pee Wee, you better tuck your tail. So as the streets tell it, Brick Baby becomes the biggest chain collector in LA. Basically, he had his young Rolling 60s members doing serious homework in the streets. This included having them sit at the airport for rappers to come to town and then following their cars back to their hotel. Then they'd relay all of this information back to Brick and he'd do with it what he pleased. So basically, without them knowing, rappers were being tracked by Brick Baby the second they stepped foot in LA. Then he and the Rolling 60s would wait for the perfect opportunity to strike, and then they'd get up on him and give me everything you got. So just like that, he went from being known as the helpful guy in the industry to the boogeyman. And because of this reputation, he would be featured on YG's notorious song, Don't Come to LA. Don't come to LA, Ralph's for their jewelry.
Bro, LA is so corny, bro.
But anyways, as the YG feature would help his recognition, he was still hurting financially. How I know this? Well, he was now 29 years old and still taking penitentiary chances. And that takes us to September 21st, 2017. It's an early Thursday afternoon on the west side of LA, and Brick and two Rolling 60s members are masking up for a lick. In particular, they aim to hit a high-end jewelry store in the wealthy Marina Del Rey.
Why waste another summer not loving your body?
With Base 44, we turn that question into a success.
So at 1 p.m., they arrive in front of the store in a gray Range Rover SUV. Then they quickly hop out of the car and run inside the store with bags. Once they're able to secure a few expensive items, they run out of the store and hop back in the Range Rover. Brick then quickly speeds away, not realizing that LAPD are already behind him. After bending a few blocks, he hears the sirens and knows they're in trouble. So he instantly punches the gas and busts a left down a residential road. This is when he finally realizes that it's a dead-end street. So now he has no choice but to stop the car and run inside a nearby apartment. While he barricades himself in the lobby, police completely surround the area. And from here, a 6-hour standoff begins. Brick Baby in the 60s versus LAPD. Finally, at 7:30 p.m., Brick Baby surrenders.
Misunderstanding tonight, or was it justified? A local rapper arrested after a tense standoff with officers in Marina Del Rey, but his family says police got the wrong guy. NBC4's Beverly White just spoke with his family and police. Beverly.
That's right, Chuck. LAPD says it started with a 20-minute pursuit this afternoon of a man traveling in a silver Range Rover, and it ended when he ducked into this apartment building in the 13,900 block of Panay Way. That music video from YouTube is of local rap artist Brick Baby, the 29-year-old now in LAPD custody after a standoff in Marina Del Rey, identified by his mother, who declined to give her name.
The already 3-time felon is facing 2 more of them things. Because of his history and the severity of the charges, he's facing up to 15 years in prison. Definitely nothing to scoff at. Of course, his family doesn't want to see him go away for a long time. And because of this, they go on the news and blame everything on his co-defendant. His mom goes on the news and says, "My son didn't rob anyone. In fact, he doesn't even own a gun." And get ready for this one. His friend is actually the one who robbed the store, and Brick only drove him away because of adrenaline. So she evidently threw his co-defendant under the bus. And I don't know, is this snitching? It's his mom, but yeah, it's snitching, right? Well, long story short, Brick is let off easy again as he's sentenced to 4 years in prison. And even though this isn't that much time, with 4 felonies on his record, what is he going to do for the rest of his life? Obviously, this is a harsh reality for a guy in his 30s, but sadly, during his prison stay, things get even worse.
The music world is mourning Grammy-nominated rapper Nipsey Hussle, who was killed in a shooting in Los Angeles.
So now y'all gotta realize something. y'all gotta realize he is blessed. Man, he blessed, bro. All the cases he's never served. Like, mind you, he last time he did 3 years, right? So he probably did a year and some change off that. Off of what? 4 years? What you gonna do? Maybe 2.5 off of that? He ain't never served he never did no long stretch in prison, right? But y'all gotta keep watching because he keep catching cases after cases after cases. Now we go get to the part where he's dealing with these guns. And this is gonna be where y'all go figure out if he's telling or not. Let's go.
Russell was shot multiple times yesterday in a parking lot outside his clothing store.
What he meant to the community, if you want to look around right now, every single person that's out here spending their time here, they're here because he spoke to them in some way. He inspired them in some way. They related to him in some way.
He meant a lot. He meant everything to the community. He was an entrepreneur. He was employing people. He loved his community. He was encouraging them and empowering them to be more, to do more with their lives. So that's why we heard today.
The city of LA, and more specifically the Rolling 60s, lost a legend. And unfortunately, Brick Baby would learn from a prison cell.
Oh no, I'm playing poker in the day room. So I'm playing poker, and a dude from Blackstone come over from Jungles. He come over like, shitty blood, like they killed Nip. I'm like, stop playing with the set. Immediately, I'm like, stop playing, bro. I get on the phone. I'm like, hey, what they talking about with Nip? They like, yeah, he just got killed. And I'm like, huh? How did somebody come into the parking lot and kill bro? Like, he supposed to be untouchable in this parking lot. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Brick is completely devastated and confused, and it gets even worse when he finds out who did it. His little homie Eric Holder, the one who saved his life and put in work when he was paralyzed. And once he heard the story of how it transpired, this is what hurt him the most.
This thing just read like 50 articles in 90 seconds and summarized them for me. There is a God for us overworked interns.
Basically, he was with his girlfriend and he walked up to Nipsey in front of his store. And when he goes to dap him up, Nipsey refuses to shake his hand and calls him a rat. This is a major violation in the LA street code. You do not call someone a rat without paperwork, and especially not in front of their girl. So Eric, being one of the only actual steppers from the Rolling 60s, he feels completely played and wants to do something to Nipsey. So long story short, he goes to his car, grabs his blick, and walks back to the block. Then in front of an entire crowd of Rolling 60s members, he walks right up to Nipsey and lets him have it. After emptying his clip, he simply walks away as Nipsey's friends are frozen in shock. And because of how quickly and emotionally this happened, Brick realizes that if he was there, he could have calmed down Eric and made everything okay.
I get wind that it's Cub. I'm like, oh, Cub. I'm like, man, how one of my close friends killed my other close friend while I was in jail. So you always think like, damn, if I was on the streets, could I have stopped it? I probably could have took him and go smoke and slide, and we could have went somewhere that would never happen.
How Eric Holder was able to do this in front of all those people is beyond me, but it is California at the end of the day. And on top of this, instead of going by their own code and holding court in the streets, they decided to testify against him in court. What I've now learned doing this for a few years is that all of these LA street codes that they all say they abide by are pretty much never enforced, or at least they pick and choose who they want to enforce them on. And on top of this, they're always contradicting themselves. But either way, we move on to another rapper loss that involves the Rolling 60s, and that takes us right back to Atlanta, Georgia. As we all know, in the summer of 2020, Chicago rapper King Von would start an internet beef with Baton Rouge's NBA YoungBoy. I guess it started over a girl, but for the sake of the video, the details don't really matter. Well, because of YoungBoy's close friendship with Rolling 60s rapper Quando Rondo, he was implicated in the beef as well. So for months, Von would instigate the beef and they would go back and forth online. Then eventually, Von would take the internet beef to the streets. On the night of November 6, 2020, Quando Rondo and his friend Lil Tim would be at a...
The other guy don't with him, and he ain't gonna with us. So basically, he was saying that Dirk either told Spotify or Apple that, yo, if y'all with that guy, I ain't gonna with y'all. So basically, they were picking sides, right?
All the guys who always talk about the street against your own gang, because at that point, what's the point of even being in it? When you're constantly talking about on 6-0 and on hood and riding and being loyal for the set, there's no way you can cross your own flag. However, when it comes to your millionaire friend, all of that goes out the window. Right after his prison release, Brick Baby goes on No Jumper and lets the world know where he stands.
You know what I'm saying? Like Quando Rondo.
You're not him.
Boy, stop.
Well, that's gotta be weird for you because you with Dirk so much.
It ain't weird for me.
Yeah.
It ain't weird for me at all. You know what I'm saying? You're not from Rolling 60s.
Oh, really?
You're not from LA Rolling 60s. You're not from Rolling 60s.
Oh, really?
You're not from LA Rolling 60s. You're not from Rolling 60s.
Wait. All those years of putting people on in Georgia and spreading the 60s out there, and you don't even respect them as rolling 60s? That makes no sense. That is the dumbest reason to say that you're not rocking with Quando, because he's not from LA and he's from Georgia. That makes no sense. So to all the rolling 60s out there that aren't in LA, see this and understand that the guys in LA do not respect you. So just understand that. And that's not to mention that the guys out of state are probably more active, because in LA, they're just squabbling and catching fades and hanging out in front of their $1 million hoods where nothing happens and they talk about how crazy it is. But the point is that Brick Baby did the unthinkable and went against his own flag for his millionaire friend, going against everything he's ever said he stood for. And that just shows you the true character of Brick Baby, just grimy and slimy.
You really from the trenches and you showing love, cause we not gonna get on your ass. You get what I'm saying? Cause you got it like how we got it.
All right, y'all. So we finna get out of there, man. So now it's time to get to the content of what's going on currently with Brick Baby, Zaire Mitchell. This is a Flacco reaction. So let's get it. Let's go, man.
Brick Baby has been in federal custody since May on firearm charges. When the feds pulled up on Brick Baby, they found firearms, ammunition, AK-47s. Brick was moving like he was LA's top op. Like, that's how Brick was moving. Like, the ammunitions and the arsenal that Brick Baby had, bro, you would think Brick Baby was actively in a war, as if he was in Afghanistan or something, okay? But Brick got picked up, and he's been in federal custody since. Brick Baby took a plea deal about 2 months ago. But this week particular, this plea deal that Brick Baby took has been a talk of the town, has been the thing that everybody is talking about. Now, they're talking about it because everybody is trying to figure out, did Brick Baby keep it solid or not?
32 rounds of ammunition, 60 rounds of ammunition, 31 rounds of ammunition, 36 rounds of ammunition, a 4.5 caliber, and an extra cartridge. So that's count 2, right? Now, they have the items listed here, and for some reason, I don't know if this brother pleaded for all this right here, because if he pleaded for all this right here in the blind.
Solar sucks. That's what most people think when they hear about solar in Las Vegas.
I don't think that was a good move, unless it's something other circumstances that's going to take place dealing with this right here. But me personally, I don't get it. But I know sometimes people have to do what they have to do. At this point, Brick Baby doesn't have anything that somebody say he's bad or anything like that. I don't know what happened behind closed doors. I know that he did sit down with them people initially when he got cracked a long time ago, because he's the one that came out and said that the brother Big U was up under investigation.
Brick Baby is expecting 5 years. I think without the plea deal, he will probably get like 20 to 25. He's expecting the judge will give him 5. Judge could give him 15. He's not expecting that. Hey, judge, I pled out.
All right, chat. Let's talk about it. Now, y'all done seen all the Brick Baby priors, all the he done been through. So they're going to throw out all that ammunition. Not only did he get caught with multiple guns, they're only going to charge him with one gun and give him 5 years when he got caught with 2-3 other pistols? I mean, and a semi-automatic? Come on, bro. Come on. And they was from another, you cross state lines. You know what I'm saying? When you transport illegal weapons to a state where they're not, that's another charge within itself. How is he just getting 5 years allegedly for what? What would be the reason to drop all of that? Why would the feds not want to maximize the time on him? You see what I'm saying? And shit, I think Crip Mac took 8. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy work, bro. Crazy work. So y'all tell me how he can't even, let me tell y'all something, right? He doesn't have a lawyer. He don't even have like a top-notch lawyer. He barely could pay his bill. He asking for phone money on his Instagram. He's begging for phone money. So y'all know he's struggling. So how is it that they decide to just, hey, we're just going to, we're going to get rid of this, get rid of that, because we like you. We're going to give you 5 years. No worries, no strings attached. Don't worry about it. We got you. Come on, gang. That don't even make no sense. Let's go.
How early I take responsibility, man. Give me 5. I can walk down 5. Break Baby said, bro, I got kids. I can't walk down to 15 to 20. I can walk down 5, not 15 to 20. Now, Eddie Boy did speak on, the talk of the town, which is, is Brick cooperating? Because there's 75 Crips cooperating against Big U. Is Brick one of them? Eddie Boy did say that there's no confirmation. He hasn't been told by nobody that Brick is one of the 75s cooperating against Big U. Now, Brick is my brother. I've told Brick Baby, bro, tell him anybody you got to tell him, bro. Come home to your family. The streets ain't do nothing for you, bro. F these raggedy ninjas, man. All right, F them.
Nigga, man.
Tell him, come home. Brick said, nah, he keeping us solid. He ain't going to do that. He against it. He going to walk it down. Cool. However, other people who I love, like Whack 100, they have alternative theories on this Brick Baby situation. Whack 100 is saying that he believes that Brick Baby is cooperating.
All right, this is why I got to call you out. Now, I rock with you. But how in the F can you love Whack 100? This was the man who tried to jump and strangle you when the chopstick fell out of his sweats, talking about he will hurt you physically. Now all of a sudden you love the nigga who was trying to hurt you? Man, this internet is crazy, bro. Any nigga that try to hurt me, nigga, ain't no love for you, nigga. Straight up. Let's go.
Because some of Brick Baby documents are apparently under seal.
Hey, Wes, we need to talk to you about this Brick Baby.
Yeah, Brick Baby got still files and everything.
Why would he need to ex parte get his file still and anything associated
Hey, bro,
with
listen. Nothing to nothing. See, I think what it is, y'all listen to Brick for 18 months. Swear to God, I was lying about he got caught with an AK. June 23rd, 2003. I would give the date. Remember, Chuck?
You told me like tons of times in the room.
And he would swear to God that I was lying, right? When the paperwork hit, what it say, right? There it go.
You got hit with an AK.
Yeah, he got caught with an AK. Now, if you read the paperwork, they came in on it because on wiretap, he was threatening to kill baby mama. It says...
So, hey, Wack, that's what I want to know right there, what you just said. I want to know, is that why they sealed it? Because he got the because I think in that phone call he was tapped. He was wiretap.
No,
he was in the
we got that content. He was threatening his baby mama. If they surveillancing you and they think you got the means to do so, bro, they coming. Now here goes the thing. They already had him for the shooting 2022. He admitted to that in the paperwork. They had video footage of that in the parking lot. Right. Then they got him on his wiretap. He threatened baby mama, so they come in because they got to, because they know he's capable. He's a gang member. He's an ex-felon. He's been caught for firearms. They come in there, catch a nigga with an AK, 2 handguns, close.
All right, so let's get into it, gang. So make no doubt about it. You got to see it as, okay, boom. He got into that, he shot up in the air with the pistol in some type of commercial residence area, right? Boom. Not to mention the FBI, the feds, they caught him on wiretap threatening to kill the mother of his child. Not to mention they got him on wiretaps talking about a robbery with Big U, right? They got all of this shit. Now, yes, Brick Baby is not on the RICO. We cannot add him on to it. We don't want to attach him to it. It still don't mean that wiretap that with him being on it won't be used in court on the half of Big U, right? All of a sudden, everybody, he's not on indictment, so all right, so boom. So they're throwing out AK-47, they're throwing away ammunition, 2 other guns, and going to charge you for 1 gun. Why would they do that? Why? Give me a logical reason on why would they just for you. This nigga's never served over 4. He's never even did 4 years in prison. Never. Not once. All the times he's been caught up. The other gun, when he was shooting in the air, he never even got prison time for that. The AK-47, they're gonna throw that out. The ammunition, they're gonna throw that out. You mean to tell me that this good guy, nigga, had 3.0 in high school? Yeah, nigga went to Mississippi. Yeah, good old nigga right there. We like you. Get the nigga. You first of all, y'all remember he just told a story about how he robbed Gucci Man, but then you supposed to be cool with Gucci Man. You robbed Gucci Man's friend. That's crazy, bro. Like the nigga literally sit here and told on himself his whole podcast career. He literally told information that shouldn't have been displayed at all. So you mean to tell me that he can't be considered a high risk informant? Or you can't? So listen, just because y'all don't see it, he must be a credible informant. He must be something very high, something. He's giving up some type of nobody. Look, bro, we was at the bar, we was drinking. It was like, man, the feds don't just throw away cases. They don't just let shit out. What grounds, what means would they have to throw it out? Unless they're going to use him for something bigger. You see what I'm saying? Like, they only make deals unless you got something to offer. They don't throw away no fucking deals, bro. Man, come on, man. You know that's their thing. The feds, they want all their time. Yeah, if say for hypothetically speaking, he get 5 years. He's going to pretty much do 5 years of majority of that time. He ain't doing no 3 years and coming home, which is still bad. But you know, my assumption is this: if you give us this, we would keep your name disclosed. We would keep your name private. On everything else, if you give us this and you catch your time until we call for you and send for you when we need to prosecute that case, we will give you this deal right here. That's the only theory that I can think that, you know, because right now, y'all go look at WAC 100 case, right? Some of that shit is sealed. You cannot get all his documents. It's sealed. You won't get it. That's why he's on the internet popping it, acting as if like, oh, he ain't never. He knows nobody can get to a certain the other information in regards of his cases. That shit is sealed. The government locked that shit down. We would never get it. He's an informant. When you got that type of leverage, you could pop it out here because he know nobody ain't gonna never go find it. That's why when Wack said that Brick Baby had a handler, how would you know that, Wack, unless you had one? Like you know he must. Man, I don't know what's the certification, but he must be a top tier certified informant where, you know, they keeping his personal shit private. So when it come down time to them prosecute one of them cases, you will see it. You will see he's gonna have to testify. Yeah, I might not see him on the stand on camera and shit, but his Zaire Mitchell name will be on some paperwork once he testify, and that's where niggas go get on his onion. Let's get it. Let's go, man. It's just impossible for somebody to just get 5 years, got caught, and you actually shot a gun in a commercial residence. They got you on camera threatening to kill your baby mama. They got you admitting to robberies on the phone with Big U. All of this shit, and you get 5 years, bro. I got cousins in a pen who in jail for way less time than that. Let's go.
200 rounds of ammunition. This is when he told 600, Big, you got a RICO coming and if somebody got killed in Vegas. You know, we don't know the details of time. So I say 600 for the police, the feds to tell him that. And he from 6-0, he's sitting on their side of the table or they wouldn't have told him that. Out of fear, he might warn Big U and he runs.
WAC 100 is someone who you don't want as an enemy. And you don't want WAC 100 as an enemy in specific situations. Now, if you're somebody who's not as famous as WAC and you're just like a local clubhouse dude or you're on YouTube, then WAC is the perfect enemy, right? Because you get all the clout, right? You going back and forth and arguing WAC is going to get you clout and it's going to get you attention and recognition. And WAC 100 will give you that attention. But if you're someone who at least you have some type of something going on, that's based around your reputation in terms of Brick Baby, who's a street dude, who his reputation or his street credibility being intact is very crucial for his survival, especially when he's in prison. That's one aspect. Another aspect where you don't want Whack 100 as an enemy is if you don't have the platform to defend yourself. If you're a Brick Baby and you're in jail and you're waiting sentencing, you can't really speak out how you want to speak out. You can't really defend yourself or say certain things. But now you have Whack 100, who got one of the loudest voices on social media. And his voice isn't even loud per se in terms of like traditionally, but Whack 100 is just so great at getting his point across, at articulating himself, at being an orator, that if Whack 100 wants to paint a narrative against you, he's going to. Now, I've never heard Whack 100 say something that he don't believe. So I'm not saying Whack 100 don't believe that Brick Baby isn't telling. I'm saying even if Whack 100 don't believe the narrative, Whack 100 is one of those orators. He's such a great orator and he's so convincing that Whack 100 can convince you of something that even he don't believe. In this situation, Brick Baby is checking off all the boxes. He's in jail, so he don't have the platform to really respond back. And bro, he's a street dude who, like, his credibility is dependent on his reputation. So Whack 100 right now has all the leverage, and Whack is bringing up things such as, for example, Whack brought up the thing with Big U and Brick Baby. Now, I'm somebody who don't believe Brick Baby is telling. I haven't seen the paperwork. I haven't seen the black and white. Until I see black and white, I can't say my brother is telling. But Whack will bring up something that I believe would be crucial in convincing other people who don't know Brick personally, who will think Brick is telling, based on Whack 100 saying, hey, listen, when Brick was picked up 2 years ago, Brick told us, yo, the feds told us they are investigating Big U. Now, a lot of people, like myself, who ain't from the streets, I don't understand these things, they will automatically assume, hey, listen, man, I mean, how will Brick Baby knows, the feds is investigating Big U if Brick, wasn't doing what Whack is accusing him of doing. Now, Whack will continue, and Whack will break down what he believes is the difference between cooperating and snitching, and why he believes that one of these definitions fit Brick Baby.
Right? We sat back, we watched the show, and a lot of these civilians don't understand the difference between snitching on somebody and working. Me and you go do a move, Chuck. I get caught. I snitch and tell them the nigga that got away is Big Chuck. This where he live. That's snitching on somebody. Working is they pull you in. We got you for this K, these 2 guns, this ammo. This 30 years. And we got you for that shooting last year. We need you to start
build relationships.
We need you to start bringing us something, building something. So here you go, a known gamer. Hey, what's up, nigga? You still sitting at work to Ohio? Yeah, well, nigga, I want to with that woo-woo-woo. Boom, he wiretapped up. Bam, right? This is working. Brick Baby didn't have no court dates from June 23rd until March when they finally put him in. Through all that time, there's a whole lot of niggas and got
pinpointed. Hey, Whack, you remember you was saying what's up with the court date?
I've been nigga, and he was crying. See, I know why Brick Baby was saying for Whack to be saying this, he got to be the police, because by the time he got to the substation and wasn't booked, they telling him, Whack on Clubhouse, telling people you got caught with a K. And Brickhead, how the f would he know I'm not even booked in?
I spoke to both Whack 100 and Brick Baby about this situation. Whack 100 on one end has told me he believes Brick Baby is telling because Brick Baby has been allowed to travel. He went to Texas, New York, and other states after the feds came and arrested him or raided his crib and found the AK. Whack is saying that's unprecedented. When the feds come, they won't just allow you to travel or do your thing unless they know you will return or you won't try to flee or escape. I've heard Brick Baby defense of it. Brick Baby has told me personally, hey, listen.
If you had to choose between flipping a house or flipping dirt, what would you pick? Here's the truth. Land beats house.
The feds and the state came to raid my crib that day. We now know when the feds came, that's because they had his phone wiretapped and they heard Brick Baby make a threat towards, I think, his baby mama or something like that, or they was arguing back and forth, and the feds thought the threat was credible, so they pulled up. And they only did the raid because they wanted to make sure that the family was safe, right? They couldn't just stand by, listen to the threat, and then let it go, or else they would be culpable, right? That's why they did the raid. That was the initial, I guess, reason for the raid. Brick is saying the feds and the state came. The state was the only ones who charged me. The feds' purpose was they came to just figure out if the family was safe or not, right? However, they did the raid. They found the AK. The feds took that as kind of evidence. Now, when the state charged him, I think he had like one court date for the state. And Brick Baby, I think, showed that there was a DA reject for the state. Brick is saying the feds were investigating me. The feds didn't want to strike too soon. So the feds' only objective was to make sure the family was safe. So they came, they got what they got the raid, blah, blah, took the guns, and they were still building this case against me. They were still hoping that I could be involved in this big U RICO somehow. But the state charged me. The feds, we now know with Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy, when the feds is investigating you, they don't want the state to move forward and try to charge you in hopes that you beat it. Now they can't double charge you, right? So the feds told the state, hey, listen, drop it. And the state dropped it. The feds continued their investigation for 19 months, and then Brick eventually got arrested when Big U got arrested, and it was Operation Draws or Operation Big Draws. That's what Brick Baby explanation is. That the feds came, they didn't want to jeopardize their investigation, so they took the AK, they just kept quiet for 19 months and kept observing him, kept watching him, kept building the case up. The feds told the state to do the DA reject because they didn't want the state to get involved. Wack is saying BS. Wack is saying, I don't believe that. I still believe that you're cooperating due to the privileges and the perks that you've gotten after the raids.
So when I tell you a nigga working, when a nigga Brick was Brick, you was out 19, 20 months, no court date, but some serious crimes. But listen, watch this. Traveling with Adam to New York and Atlanta. Can't no travel once the feds snatch you, boy. Unless you working. Big Baby is never in Big U RICO.
That's what I think.
He's never named in Big U RICO. He was big.
All right, we gonna leave it right there, Chad. We gonna leave it right there, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Y'all can formulate your own opinions, but something ain't right. I know it. Y'all know it. Y'all let me know in the comment section. I'll see you on the next video. Let's get it. Let's go.
I know how to shoot, I know how to fight. I tell you once, don't tell you twice. I'm real discreet, the thief in the night. Yeah. If I call you